Genshin Impact's new Easy Breeze Holiday Resort is presented as the ultimate getaway in Tivat. From the vibrant, colorful cliffs to the immersive theme parks, this resort is said to have it all. But since the release of this summer island, I have had one question on my mind. How good would the Easy Breeze Resort be in real life? Hello! To judge this effectively, we're going to be taking a look at the 5 most important must-haves that I identified from my research, as well as a point system. Starting with the Easy Breeze Holiday Resort is located on an island called Tenochtitlan, which is on the northwest side of Natlan. Given its location, it probably has a sunny and warm climate all year round, making it a perfect place to make a resort. You reach the island via a ferry, which seems to be standard for many island resorts. But what is this thing? For the life of me, I could not find anything about what this, like, why is this house here? What is it doing there? The path to the reception actually does give you insight about what the resort is like and what you expect to see while you're there, with the Asha and the guests and the staff all having fun. I mean, look at the little Asha. They are absolutely adorable. I mean, look at this little guy having fun. He's so cute. When you're walking towards the reception, you have this little welcome area, I assume it is, that you see first, and from there you get to choose between going by boat to the reception or walking. And along the way, you are shown this really cute and cool entrance show, but realistically, if this was real life, that would be so expensive but so extraordinary at the same time. Because imagine walking into a resort and you're just given this show with like colorful paints and everything. Like, that would be amazing, but probably unrealistic, because imagine you had a guest walking in every 3 seconds. You would have to play the show. So it probably only happens when a large group of people arrive via ferry or guests, if it's been long intervals between each one. Overall, I would give this criteria an 18 out of 20. Minus points because I don't know what this house is. I don't know. And 2, if you're not invited here and you're paying, I don't know how to explain this, but this resort just screams expensive. Accommodation is likely the most important thing when choosing where to go for a vacation. It's part of the wow factor that makes you choose where you want to go. I mean, think of the last time you went for a vacation, or if you did, I don't know. Looking at where you were going to stay is just as important as looking at the whole surrounding. It's where you're going to be living, putting all your stuff. You need security. So imagine my frustration when we get to the part of the quest that allows us to go to accommodations and we are told, rest now. Look, I know not everyone cares about the teapot or what a standard room looks like. I mean, you have this whole update. Why would a room bother you? It bothers me, okay? I was looking forward to that. I was hoping, but I digress. The only thing we're actually told about our accommodation is how the beds are soft, which isn't a lot to go by. So I would have to assume our room looks like a standard bedroom with like a shower and a bed, maybe a table, something like this. Not to say that this is standard. I don't know what hotel this is. This could be like a 5-star hotel I'm talking about. I will say a saving grace that the accommodation has for me is the fact that there's a pool outside. It's not important to have a pool, and probably is more disadvantageous because mosquitoes, but still I like the atmosphere and the whole vibe of the area we're living in. Another factor to consider about the accommodations is its actual location. You would think that because of how big the resort is, you would have one area for accommodations and where you're resting, and the other is where the activities are. You have to take through the Easy Breeze market to get to accommodations, which is not favorable a lot, especially since you have to do so much walking until you get there. Is it good for scenery and seeing everything around you? Yes, but is it practical in a real life sense, especially when you have people who are traveling by a boat a few hours earlier, probably for like a day, and then now they have to do a lot of walking. People want to get to their rooms as fast as possible, relax a little bit, and then they have the ability to go see things. All things considered, though, I will give the accommodations, despite not actually seeing it, a score of 15 out of 20. I feel like 15 out of 20 is fine. Yeah. You can have the most stunning resort or hotel or business, whatever it is, but if you don't have your staff in order, it is nothing. In every establishment, it is the staff that handle the day-to-day activities and operations. And I quote, "It is the staff that ultimately determine the quality of the guest experiences, especially at resorts." So it's a shame that at the beginning of the quest, we're told that the resort is actually understaffed, which is honestly a big red flag depending on who you are. But looking at this realistically, where are the cleaners, the security, where are the waiters at restaurants? We don't see that, which it would have been really nice to see. Yes, I know this is a game, but it would have been really nice to see. And if we were to equate it the exact way it is in the game to real life and you don't have those essentials, your resort basically isn't even functioning. Not to mention the staff that also was just incompetent. I mean, one guy was having a one-sided beef with an Asha just trying to do its job, and another literally left a baby Iktomisor by an incomplete ride. Ignorance? I think so. If we do take into consideration why the resort is understaffed, it could be to it just opening up and having issues with finances. But even at that, there are many establishments that hire temporary, cheaper staff during peak seasons, especially in summer. But yes, I know this is a game and they don't want to fill the whole resort with NPCs. So out of 20, I'm going to be harsh here and give this a 9 out of 20. Yeah. But you want to know what else is understaffed? This channel. You have me, your host, the editor, and the scriptwriter. No, don't look at her too much. We don't talk about her. But you want to know what can change all of that? You. No, don't look away. I'm talking to you. By liking this video, we can grow together. Okay? We can get a second video editor, a second scriptwriter, and a second co-host. Heck, even a toaster. That's right, a toaster. What are you waiting for? Okay. Now I have to give props where props are due. Is that the quote? I don't remember. For the fourth category, what we are going to be looking at are the amenities. Now, this refers to everything that you can do at the resort. From the restaurants to the shops, the activities, the excursions, if you will, everything. And I am so happy to say that there is a surplus of things to do at this resort. I mean, who doesn't want to go on a vacation and have fun, take pictures, spend their money on things? But there are a few key things we're going to be looking at under this criteria. For restaurants, I was very happy to see that there are a variety throughout the whole resort, be it on the main island or an off branch like Tete Isle. The variety of restaurants does give this vacation atmosphere and give you the feeling that there's quite a lot to do. But unlike the restaurants, we have the shops, which could be all under the resort or outsourced, which is a good and bad thing at the same time. It's good that it gives the clients and guests variety when they're at the resort, but it is also bad as there is no control from the resort of what the seller is selling, and they don't have total control over it. So if there's a faulty product or service, it could tarnish the resort's image. But it is good to have because it probably helps the local businesses and promotes people's businesses. I think there is one guy who talks about his uncle actually working or having his own bar on Tete Isle. Now, I can't go too deep into the individual activities that are available because there are too much. The activities that I did highlight include painting with the ashas, taking pictures, buying things from the market, the pool, the water park, riding hot air balloons, and painting. Yeah, there's a lot to do at this resort. But we're focusing on the potential hazards that these activities have. And the first one, which is the most obvious, is the fact that this resort opened, but there are several rides that were not professionally tested. Yes, in game, it's the Traveler, Molani, and Chaska, Paimon too, and Bennett that are the ones testing it out. But if this was a real thing and you had non official staff testing out your rides, that could lead to serious legal issues that would probably have the resort closed. And let's be honest, people are going to probably fake having injuries because they want the money. Let's also not neglect the fact that they were using Saurians. Now, Saurians are a very important part of Natlan, but were they being compensated? Were the Saurians getting lunch? Were they being fed well? I mean, they have to. We don't want to risk calling animal control now, do we? Do we? But apart from having rides that weren't tested, there were also other rides that had the signs of not being done, like they had the circle with a slash through it. Guests can't use those, which is probably why they're here. Which makes me wonder, now that I think about it, why did the resort open when it wasn't even complete? Like, I know from a gameplay perspective why, but like, why was it open? In terms of entertainment, I know the whole resort could be considered to be entertaining on its own, but I'm specifically going to talk about Tete Isle. I love Tete Isle. In the trailer for it, I was waiting for Tete Isle. I absolutely love Tete Isle. Tete Isle is my favorite. If Tete Isle has no fans, I don't exist. It is the best place on the entire resort. You can already tell the vibe you're going to get from Tete Isle the moment it's available for the public. Paimon even asked the question of, are you sure that Tete Isle is friendly for everyone? Which is the vibe you would probably want it to have, because the people at the resort are not just children, there are also adults there, and Tete Isle has all the DJing and the party and the Aphemide and a drunk bard. It's probably more child friendly during the day when they're probably playing a lot of happy, friendly music, but at night the whole atmosphere changes and it's a whole different thing. I mean, we're literally introduced to the place with a popping bottle of Aphemide. I also really like the whole layout of Tete Isle and how it feels like it is designed to be a space where a group of friends can hang out. Because looking at the aerial view of it, you have designated areas that look like this is where one person or a group of people that came together can have fun. And obviously they're going to be very wild, considering I think it was mentioned there was a guy who was taken away on like a stretcher and he was hallucinating seeing hilly churls. That's very concerning, but I hope you get the whole vibe of Tete Isle. So in the real world, this would probably be the tourist attraction because of the whole vibe and atmosphere of it and what you're allowed to do. Given everything we've discussed, we're going to give this criteria a 16 out of 20. 16 out of 20 feels good. This section, I believe, is the most subjective because not everyone is going to like the overall vibe of the resort. It may be appealing to some, but not appealing to others. I know that the summer events are really looked forward to by a lot of players, and for good reason too. I mean, just going around doing quests and exploring, you get to see the beautiful scenery of the resort, which even in game is really mesmerizing. And it only makes you wonder how it would actually look like in real life because it's so beautiful. Something I really like about the resort is how it leans into Natlan's aesthetic of using graffiti on the walls, and it does this a lot while also giving guests the ability to interact with the resort by painting the walls and having their own art on different surfaces in different areas. I know I talked about this before, but the whole introduction to Tete and the popping of the Aphamid graffiti bottle, it was really beautiful to see, and it just gives you this whole feeling and like general vibe of what you're going to expect. But the resort will need cleaners at different stations, cleaning the different surfaces every day. Because if that was left to cake on a wall, it would be absolutely disgusting. And you would also need a lot of security to make sure that people aren't going around just vandalizing the resort and painting places that were never supposed to be painted. So, looking at that from a realistic standpoint, there's a reason why that is not done in real life, especially with children around, because children will get paint into places paint was never supposed to be. But the fun, festive atmosphere really screams vacation, which is exactly what you want when you're on a vacation, to forget about your normal life and just have fun. And the fact that this resort is very different from the standard you would see elsewhere, the luxurious, quiet type resorts that have this elegance around them. Not to say this one isn't, but it really is more of a wild type of resort, which is kind of like how the Natlanese people are. They're very colorful, very vibrant, and yeah, this looks like a Natlanese resort. I want to give this a 19 out of 20. So, taking all the scores from the different categories, we have an overall score of 77 out of 100, which if you calculate it into a star rating, that is about four four stars, a 4-star rating, which is actually 3.9 stars, but we're generous here, so we're gonna give it 4 stars. But honestly, if this resort was real, I would want to go here at least once in my life because it looks so cool. But I would really like to know what you guys think of this resort as a whole, both in-game and if it were to be made in real life. Would you go to it? Would you not? What are your reasons? And I also want to know what you think about this video because this was just a silly little idea I had, and I want to get more comfortable with showing my face on camera, so I hope you all enjoyed this video. I'm hoping to do more content like this, so if you have any suggestions, please do comment those down below. It really helps. Also, liking and subscribing really helps the channel a lot. But thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you all later.